Alrighty, so welcome everybody to our March monthly meeting. Thanks for being here. I know we skipped a month, but we're back on track now, and so thank you for being here. So let's go ahead and get started. So the agenda for today, well, let's skip introductions for today since I don't think there's any new members per se, and we all know each other. So we'll skip that for today. And then we'll have some design updates from Matt and Josephine, and then we're going to have some fundraising updates from Moises and Diana. And then there's time for Q&A at the end. So in case you have any questions, this will be the time to ask. So let's skip that. Oh, and as a reminder, you can buy our t-shirts on our website. So head over to our website and buy our t-shirt. If you do buy one, then Diana or myself will coordinate with you to make sure that you're able to get it. So let me see. So, okay, we can go ahead and move on to the updates. So I see more people are trickling in, so that's good. So let me switch over to Matt's presentation. Alrighty, Matt, whenever you're ready.
All right, if you could please. So what I'm going to present here this evening for some of y'all, it's a review, but I wanted to give an overview for, it looks like I got a couple new folks that are online, and give you a little overview about the project, and then jump into the details of our overall design work. So next slide. In that overview, just with Bolivia, and our project is in Bolivia, which is in South America, and it is south of the equator. So they're enjoying the warm season while we've been freezing up here. So we're in the kind of northwest part of the country, about 100 miles south of La Paz, in the Altiplano, which means high plains. So our project is in the elevation of about 12,000 feet. So it's not like you're on top of, it's like you're on top of a mountain, but it's flat. And next slide, please. In that, Bolivia is the poorest country in South America, and our projects are in the the poorest areas of the poorest country. So Cuy Alto is an agricultural community, as I mentioned, south of La Paz in the Altiplano. Pretty dry area as well, as you'll see in the next couple of pictures. Next slide. And from from this point going out to our projects, just to share little pictures with you, remind me a little bit of El Paso, and as arid as it is there, they get less than 10 inches of rain in a year, and it's they get it about in 2 or 3 month time period, and right now is just ending the rainy season for them. So most everybody there's no piped water. Each home has a dug well, and depending on where they're at, the water might be 10 foot down, or it could be 50 or 60 feet down. And the next slide shows you that you just got a bucket and pulley. With the folks that are 60 foot down to water, they got to do a lot of walking just to bring up enough water to, feed all their cows and sheep. So that's the basic farmer there is raising a half a dozen milk cows and probably 40 or 50 sheep that they just graze on pretty arid land. And just to remind folks of why we're doing this work, it's for the kids that you see here. I mean, they're the ones that we're building this for, to help them have a better life. So let's go on to the design then of how we got to where it is. And for the new folks, the EWB process is to do a pre-assessment, just looking at the project. The assessment trip was just go out there and see if you're basically the lay of the land, gather information. We did this a few years back with doing survey of the homes and their water use, interviews with folks. We did some land survey and did some water and soil sampling as well. So once we took that information back, we went through the alternatives analysis and design process. I'll give a short note on that, and then implementation is where we're at right now, is to get the thing built. So next slide. when we were there doing the assessment trip, we met with the water community that is there that the government had actually been doing training sessions with, and they're a partner with our uh, non NGO, the non-governmental organization, the nonprofit Engineers in Action. So that's one of their engineers there. That's the pump house that was built by another NGO back in 2007, and it is stopped operating after a couple 3 years of operation. Next slide gives you a little view of the rest of the community as well, the features we're dealing with. And the pump house will be tying into one of the pipes there on the left from the pump house. It stopped operating because it's got a wrong size pump in it. It's burned out the electronics, and basically it's sat idle since then. So part of our work, our initial work, is to get the pump, replace the pump, and get it working again, and then to build a storage tank and what's called tap stand, basically outlet for folks to get the water. So next slide is the point of our next phase is to run water out to the school, which is southwest of town, as well as they got a church there. And then where you saw other pictures was next slide is like the museum that's pretty close to the well. So museum was built by the government just about 10 years ago. It's got plumbing inside, but it's got no water to it. So that's one of our main goals with the initial phase: get water to the museum, get water to the school, and then provide tap stands at strategic locations along the corridor. So the community water committee drew up a map for us towards the end of the assessment trip, and our plan is actually pretty close to what they drew out there. So it's just working through the phasing of it to get it all built. Next slide. As we mentioned, the alternatives analysis process, we've had a group that went through and did some water modeling, testing the pipe sizing that was needed and the phasing. And we settled on instead of building an elevated tower, we would put a ground storage tank at the northern limits of the community, which is shown at the top of the screen, and then allow that to gravity feed with pressure the remaining system that would serve all the communities. So the green dots that you see on this aerial are the homes all around the community. It's not really a town. It's mostly little farmsteads scattered across the country there. The school is at the bottom, and in the middle there is where the well and the pump house is located, and the museum's not far from that. So we looked at various phases of implementation, and the first phase is the line shown in blue. That would basically be pipelines from the tank at the north to the pump station in the middle and serving the school on the south. And that kind of diagonally from bottom left to top right is along the main road to the town that's a couple miles northeast of there along the main road. So having tap stands along there was the overall plan. So once we have money and effort, we go on to do future phases. Like the red would be a second phase, the orange would be a third phase, the green lines would be the fourth phase, and purple is the last phase. So next slide is just giving a depiction what the first phase would be: the school on the left and the elevated tank, elevated ground storage tank at the elevated part of the community at the top. So we're able to gravity feed the
Did we lose Matt?
There we go. Thank you. Sorry, I lost connection there. So these are the phases shown here earlier, and this is what's in our plan set for a location map, where you see the black dash rectangles. Those are our plan profile sheets included in phase one. And we're looking at our next step to develop the plan profiles, construction plans for the red shown in phase two. Next slide. And so these are just the basic plans. So these were submitted again to EWB for review, and we have both English and Spanish versions of those. So I appreciate Deanna, Josephine, and others that helped in the overall translation of the plan set. So the next slide should be the I'm sorry, I'm getting a little lag here. This is a typical plan profile. I'll give you an example of what that is. Like for the phase 2, we have a ground survey. So it's just inputting the ground survey data into the profile side of it, and we'll just draw the plans to it.
And
these are details that
Josephine
and folks. I'm sorry, what was that?
That was the low side of the plans near the school. So the lowest in elevation is what that was.
That's right. And details have already been drawn up for the tap stand, so that'll be easier for the phase 2 side. So it's a modification of the kind of a standard design that EIA uses. Next slide. And this is a detail that we prepared for the phase 1A, which was to put the tanks right beside the pump house and well, just to minimize the amount of pipeline that would have to be constructed, at least get them a tap stand and a source of water to go with it. So this work would also include removing the well, removing the pump, rehabbing the well and cleaning the screen and getting that back in operation, and then fixing the controls for the pump as well in the pump house. Next slide. So some of the next steps, this is the quantities that were prepared for the initial phase. So what we're looking for next steps with the design committee is help on not only laying out the plans, but helping do the quantities of materials, and then ultimately the cost estimate for those plans. So we received pricing of materials from EIA. So we've got I think, a pretty good handle on the overall cost. But we do need some help with the design committee with that. Next slide. And the overall schedule for, everybody's hopeful to get there. The top bars there is basically about a 1-week process for that phase 1A for the well rehab and pump and tank. At this point, it was looking to be constructed by EIA. We would just remotely monitor their work. The bottom schedule there is more of about a 10-week implementation trip where we would be able to go there and help work on the phase 1B. Sorry?
10-day, not 10-week.
Oh, did I say 10? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be quite a trip, wouldn't it? Sorry about that. Right, 10 days. And I like to just throw this picture in at the end. So she is one of the people we'll be helping with it. I just love this picture of, just it shows a lot about the community and the people there, and the need for what they have from, they're cooking over an open fire, grinding their own grain, but she still has a great smile on her face. So they're wonderful people, and really looking forward to being able to work and implement the project. So with that, I would like to ask Josephine and then Deanna on sharing what they've done on the committee and steps going forward.
Sure. And thank you, Matt. That was really good. I even learned some stuff. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope not to repeat Matt too much, but some of it is going to be a little repetitive. So here is just an interactive map of the one that Matt showed us of the different phases of design. So right now we have already finished phase 1. It's going to be built soon, and that is the blue. And along that line, he had talked about some of the tap stands. So we have one at the school to collect water. We also have them at the milk collection stations, which are convenient around the community. And the importance of the next phases is really to just add more tap stands to different areas to make it more and more convenient for the community to get water wherever they live. So the second phase of the design is adding a loop in the system. So this is the high point in the community where the final tank will be located. So then we'll add a tap stand along this red line to service these houses and make that completed loop in the system. And then phase 3 is the orange, adding in this area, and then just continuing to add loops to the system is phase 4, and connect to more houses, adding more tap stands along there, and then 2 extension lines. Actually, that's 3. 3 extension lines for the rest of the community. So what's really great right now is we are starting a brand new phase. So that means we have to start from scratch with design sheets. We have brand new plan and profile sheets. We have to create contours and then cut the profiles and then lay out all the sheets and then cost estimates, quantities, all that fun stuff. So if anyone is interested in helping with the design, we've got plenty to do. Even if you don't have experience with this sort of work, we'd love to show you how and just get that extra help. That would be awesome. Though I know everyone's pretty busy right now and there's not a lot of new people right now.
And in which program are you designing all of these?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Which program are you using for the design?
We are planning to use AutoCAD. We had determined that was easier for this design, but if you're more familiar with MicroStation, we can talk about it.
No, I'm familiar with AutoCAD more than the
Okay.
station. Yeah. So I'll be I would love to help. I mean, my AutoCAD is rusty, but I do know AutoCAD.
Yeah, if you have any questions, it's just the more the merrier, and we can work together on this. We have a design meeting tomorrow, but we can also talk about maybe smaller design meetings of just working on the design itself and not just discussing what has to happen.
Okay, perfect.
We
I would love
also-
to join you guys.
Great, thank you.
We've also used EPA net to figure out the pressures and other things within the pipe and using that for pipe sizing. And EPA net's a free program that you can download and use.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Okay, and if you'd like to help, if you could in the chat, if you could put your email, just to be sure that you know that we can get that to Simon and or to myself as well to share with you all the meeting invite. We have our next design committee meeting tomorrow over the lunch hour, and you know we'd love to have you join us then, and we can talk more on the details. Looking at like that was Julie as well. The other Julie Hornsby.
Hello, sir. Yes, I just moved here and would love to get involved with EWB down here in Texas.
All right, welcome. Where'd you move from?
Thank you, sir. Tennessee.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, lovely to have you, Julie. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. This sounds like an awesome project.
Yeah, so just be sure to put in the chat your email address, and Sana, who's also on, is our sends out notices and future meetings, and we'll be glad to have you aboard.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. And then Josephine, again, thank you so much for your efforts on, especially with your GIS as well too. So that what you're sharing there with the group. So it's a lot of good information is available there, and you know, be we appreciate your efforts in helping to move us on to the next phase.
Hey, I'm excited to start working in AutoCAD and excited to have help on that. I think we could have a lot of fun as a smaller group putting together these plans. Get more people involved.
Yep. Awesome. Deanna, did you want to share anything on the design, or are we good to move on?
We're good to move on. Just wanted to restate that we need the help, and I guess I'm more familiar with MicroStation, but I'm open to help you guys with AutoCAD.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I know the team has been hard at work. I know this might not seem like a huge thing, but getting at least the one phase out the door is a huge step for us. I know we've been working really hard to achieve that, and I know this is a volunteer organization, so I really appreciate everyone's time that they spent on this. Does anybody have any questions for the design team before we move on?
It's just a small kind of housekeeping question for Josephine. What version of AutoCAD are we utilizing for this?
I have 2018 on my computer, but if we need to bring it down or up, just let me know.
Cool.
Okay. Yes, I know that's a very important question, because once you start mixing things up, then it gets out of control. Moises, do you want to share your screen real quick? Oh, no. Oh, no. Did we lose Moises?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, yep, I can hear you now. For some reason, your video is frozen, but that might just be my computer.
But can you see my screen? Sort of?
No. Wait,
no?
No, we can't see your screen yet.
Okay, let me try that again.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, cool. So we're just gonna briefly go over the fundraising part of the chapter. As of right now, I am one of the fundraising coordinators. That's my picture, and then Diana is also one of the fundraising coordinators as well. We both work at the same company, which is funny. So fundraising, obviously, as most of you know, that's where we get money for the project. And previously, before pandemic happened, we tried to do small fundraising events about every quarter. And so, we did events at different brewery places, and even like some restaurants. So these are just some pictures of the different events we've had in the past. And so, unfortunately, because of COVID, obviously we are not doing that anymore. And so what we started doing is we started doing more virtual fundraising stuff, and we kind of want to keep that same pace where we have them every quarter. And so far we've had 2 different events, which they've been mildly successful. Not as much as previously, when people would actually go out and socialize more, but it's been good. Both of the virtual events that we've had have been previous, and so we are looking to do our next fundraising event. It was meant to be this month, but then all of Texas kind of froze, and some of those plans didn't happen. But we're planning to have one in April. The idea, we might have a trivia, but there's some ideas that we have. One that sounded really appealing was a scavenger hunt. then I know some people have done a Pictionary in the past before, which also sounds pretty cool. Um, Other ideas we had, which we are, it's still like some of the officers said, it's still pretty. There's a lot of cases in Texas, and so we don't really want to do in-person stuff. But if we did, some stuff that we could do would be outdoor stuff. And um, and one of the goals for this year was to have a large fundraising event, and we really haven't done that in a while. At least not since I've became part of the fundraising group. But in the past, there's been like they had a cruise for the project, and once we can actually go out, we do plan on doing a larger event. And what we need are ideas and on what we could do. Could be a banquet, could be an auction, and that's part of the 2021 goals. And so other things happening with the fundraising group. We did a corporate package, and basically what a corporate package is it's kind of like this document that you present to companies so that they they um, they help fundraise the project. And basically, that's a big chunk of where typically uh, uh, the chapter would get their money. Companies, they get excited about these kinds of things. They also get excited about their own employees doing these kinds of things. And so what we did is we prepared this corporate package, that's what we're calling it. And basically, well, our goal for this is to go and present it to companies. From the officers in our group or the members in the chapter, to for them to kind of have this document ready so that they can go and present to their own companies and talk to them. And I'm sure companies would get excited about it, and ideally help you fundraise as well, or provide some funding for the chapter. And so the corporate package is ready. We also, along with the corporate package, we did a PowerPoint presentation for it, which is it's also ready. It needs to be reviewed, and ideally more of like in the design aspect of it, so that it's a good PowerPoint presentation. And I think it looks pretty good because a lot of people helped on it. And so now it's more of we 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 kind of need some feedback on that, and that's probably what we will do at our officer chapter meeting as well. But that's another thing that we worked on during 2020. And I know one of the goals was to have present this to at least 2 companies as well. In the past, we've this is kind of what the corporate package consists of. It's usually like, if you donate this much, you get all of this benefits. If you donate this much, and so this is kind of how it breaks down. And there's all kinds of recognitions from social media, sending out thank you letters, to actually having their logos in our t-shirts and stuff. And so right now, some of our donors, these are not previous, these are the current donors, or the ones from last year, but it's Jacobs, AECOM, TLC, and in the future, we hope to have more companies involved. And so if any of our members are, again, interested in talking to their companies, we can always help them out on how to approach the company, and such. I know it's kind of not ideal not right now, because not a lot of some of us are going to the office, but not everyone. So it's a little harder. But we've been trying to develop all of these tools to help us approach companies and talk to them about the project. And so other stuff, the t-shirt sale, which Manny already talked about. and they're on our website. If you just go to the website, you'll find t-shirts right there, and you can see there's even the logos on the t-shirt. And another thing is Amazon Smile. I don't think we've talked about this in detail, but basically, whenever you shop on Amazon, you can ask. Basically, there's a very small percentage of of your purchase goes into a nonprofit, and so if you go to smile.amazon.com, you register your account, which it's your regular Amazon account, and you just select the charity of choice. You can select Engineers Without Borders USA. It's not going to be your actual local chapter, but still, it's helping out the national chapter, and then that money trickles down to all the different chapters across the United States. And so selecting Engineers Without Borders as your charity of choice, then whenever you just make a purchase, instead of going to Amazon.com, you just go to smile.amazon.com, and you'll be able to buy the same stuff you regularly do at the same price. It's just as a very small percentage of your purchase is going to go towards the charity of choice. And so for anyone interested, I mean, it's basically free money that's being given away to our chapter or the national chapter. So please, if you wanna, I don't know, if you use Amazon pretty often, you can always do this and help us fundraise money as well, and just spread the word out as well for it. And then finally, we've been trying to get new ideas for the survey. So we have this this quick survey that we're doing to get some input as to what you would like to see in future fundraising events. And so if you scan it with your phone, or we can send an email after the meeting to all of our members so they can fill it out. But just to kind of get an idea of what kind of events we or what kind of events you'd be interested in attending. And so other than that, I think that was it from my side. That was kind of brief, but I don't know if you have questions. I'm here, or Dan is here. I don't know if anyone has any questions regarding the fundraising group for the chapter.
Awesome. Sounds great. I know fundraising is obviously a big part of our chapter. Does anybody have any questions about anything specific for the fundraising team, or anybody want to put their hand up and offer to help?
Yeah, we always need help, and we do have fundraising meetings every other week, which I should do a better job at. We were supposed to have a meeting this Tuesday, but somehow it got canceled. But we have them every 2 weeks, and so yeah, if you're interested, just let us know, and yeah, we will send you an invite to the next meeting we have.
Hey Moses, regarding the package for the companies, could you like compile that into an email with like our goal and stuff, something I can send to my boss? I mean, I tried last time, but as I told you, the time was not right. I'll try again and see if we can get them on board with the sponsors. But if you have like an email with like our goal and all the stuff and like the project we're working on and who to contact exactly if they're interested in sponsoring, that would be great, please.
Yeah, I think that's one of the goals. So we'll get working on that.
Okay.
I'd also like to add, sorry, I often cut you off. I'd also like to add if any of our newer members or some who've been here before, if you have any further questions, no need to put you on the spot right now for fundraising. You can just throw your email down in the chat or through any of our socials or website. Reach out to either myself, the membership partner, or any of the leadership team, and we can get you more information on getting involved if you'd like to have a little bit more of a discussion there. And add you to, as Moises recommended, we can add you to the pertinent email letters for design or fundraising or wherever you'd like to reach out.
Thanks.
I actually might need to talk to you after this about a couple of my friends joining the organization. So maybe after the meeting, I'll talk to you, see where they're best fit the organization.
I can also stay on the line here with the officers.
Yeah, we definitely always want more people. Julie, to answer your question,
Yeah.
no, this doesn't have to be for your company. This can be for anybody who will sponsor our chapter. You know, we're happy to give this presentation. You know, if you want to give it yourself or if you want one of us, just let us know, and we're more than happy to do the presentation for you.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions from the team? Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, if there's nothing else, that's all we have on our end. One thing that I did want to say is we have our leadership workshop this upcoming weekend, or next weekend, whatever it is. But so anyways, if you have any ideas for the chapter, just email them to us, right? You have all of our emails or on LinkedIn or wherever, even the chapter email. Just let us know any ideas that you may have, because we try to plan out the whole year for meetings, and then we want to get, you know, some fundraising ideas in the books as well. So whatever ideas you have, just please send us those, so that way the team can discuss them. And if you know, again, want to volunteer at a bigger capacity, also just let us know. You know, let us know that you want to help out more, and we can find a place to get you plugged in. But other than that, I really appreciate everyone joining. I know it's late in the day, so for the time being, we're going to continue doing these virtually, and next month we will resume on the 1st of April. That's the first Thursday, and we will have a presentation from EIA, so that'll be really nice to hear. Yep, with that, I think we can adjourn this meeting. If you want to stick around and chat, please do so. If not, we'll catch you next month.
Tarek, I'll send you an